Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of TypeScript. And in this session, we would look at how the naming convention works, right? For files, let's say classes, methods, variable, right? Now, if you want to name a file, right, the naming convention says in TypeScript that the file name should start with the small letter. In fact, your entire file name would be in the small letters only. And if it consists of multiple words, then it should be separated by dash. There should not be any spaces though. Okay, so let me just write it. It will be very much clear to you. First dash, they should be small, TypeScript file dot ts. Now, if you would see over here, there are uh, uh, multiple words within this particular file, right? And each word is separated by this dash. So this is how it works basically in TypeScript. This is, by the way, a standard. Okay, this is not rule. The way you want, you can give it. आपको जैसा चाहिए आप दे सकते हो. But if you won't follow the standard, it would look odd. Okay. As I said, it's not rule. आप नहीं करते हो, dash नहीं देते हो, कुछ और use करते हो, you're not gonna get punished. It's just that your naming convention would look odd from the ongoing standards. All right. Coming back to the same point again. Now, if your file name consists of multiple words, it should be separated by the dash, as simple as this. By the way, here is where the difference comes when we compare it with the Java. अगर आप same file को Java में name करना चाहते हो, तो Java would write something like this. Okay, the first letter should be caps first. Then there is no underscore or dash in between. It has to be directly appended with this TypeScript file dot Java, right? So see, first letter caps, each letter of the first letter of each word is basically caps. This is caps, this is caps, and this is caps. Okay, कोई इसके अंदर dash नहीं है, right? Nothing else. So this is the Java naming convention. Above is the TypeScript naming convention. बस ये दो चीजों के अंदर इन दो languages में difference है. Rest everything is pretty much same. All right. Now coming back to the TypeScript again. So this is file what we have seen right now. Next thing, let's look at how do we name the class. Let's say we have a class. Class को कैसे name किया जा सकता? What is the standard naming convention? The first letter of the class name should start with the caps. So if you're saying writing a class something like this, employee details, okay, then like this dot, sorry, this is class basically, right? Okay, so if you see first letter of your class name is caps, and if your class name consists of multiple words, see, this is your first word and this is your second word. This is your second word. So this E is in caps, D is in caps. There are no spaces, there are no underscore. Okay. So if you have class names, the class name should not have anything in between. The first letter should be caps. First letter of each word should be caps, right? This is for the classes. Then let's say we have functions, right? How do we write the function, or what is the standard for the function? So function says the first letter should be small. Okay. Let's say we have a function called as addition. Okay, so first letter should always be small. And if your function name consists of multiple words, let's say addition of two numbers, something like this. Okay, in this case, the function name should start with the small letter. And if it consists of multiple words, तो हर एक word का पहला letter जो है वो caps होना चाहिए. Okay, repeating it one more time again. The function name should start with the small letter, or if it consists of multiple words, then each word, उसका first letter should be starting with the caps. ये दोनों ही चीजें, right? ये class name पकड़ लो, function name पकड़ लो. It is the same thing how we do it in the Java. Absolutely no difference. Now, when it comes to variable, how do we create the variable in the, or what is the naming convention for the variables in the TypeScript? अब naming convention variable का, let me just write it two things. दो तरीके हैं बेसिकली. ओके, व्हाई टू थिंग्स? क्योंकि टाइपस्क्रिप्ट में वेरिएबल क्रिएट करने के कई ऑप्शंस हैं, राइट? लेट से देयर आर टू थिंग्स, लेट एंड वैर. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, आगे हम लोग देखने वाले लेट वैर क्या है. एंड अनदर इज लेट से कॉन्स्ट. सो अगर आप लेट या वैर इस टाइप का वेरिएबल क्रिएट करना चाहते हो, इस टाइप का अगर वेरिएबल क्रिएट करना चाहते हो, देन द फर्स्ट लेटर शुड बी स्मॉल. ओके, फर्स्ट लेटर ऑफ द वर्ड शुड बी स्मॉल. लेट्स से कोई एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं, नेम फॉर दैट मैटर. ओके, सो नेम पहला जो लेटर है वो स्मॉल होना चाहिए. एंड इफ यू आर अगेन द वेरिएबल नेम कंसिस्ट ऑफ मल्टीपल वर्ड्स सेम एज दैट ऑफ व्हाट वी फॉलोड इन द फंक्शन. अगर अगला जो भी इसका वर्ड रहेगा उसका फर्स्ट लेटर जो है वो कैप्स होना चाहिए. सो नेम ऑफ. ओके, अगेन इसको भी बोल लेते हैं नेम ऑफ एम्प्लॉय. राइट, सो देखो, पहला लेटर स्मॉल, हर एक वर्ड का पहला लेटर वुड बी देन कैप्स. दिस इज फॉर दी लेट एंड वैर. अगर ये वेरिएबल लेट या वैर से बनाया हुआ है तो. अगर आपने कॉन्स्ट बनाया हुआ है देन इट हैज टू बी इन द कैप्स. सो सेम अगर आप कॉन्स्ट क्रिएट करते देन इट शुड बी समथिंग लाइक दिस, नेम ऑफ एम्प्लॉय. All of it would be in the caps. Okay, this is very simple. Again, as I said, right, these are pretty much the same thing we would follow in the Java. Of course, const का एक थोड़ा difference है and एक जो file name का difference है. Rest of the things are pretty much same. Alright, so that's all. By the way, इनके अंदर ये जो हम लोगों ने भी देखे, right, this comes under camel casing and Pascal casing, but those are just names. Honestly, अगर आप उनको याद करने की कोशिश करोगे, it may confuse you further, right? So just remember it this way, the way I have told you right now. By the way, that's all for this session. This video is pretty short. We'll look at these variables and other things in the next session. Thank you.